Live coming to you on Tuesday night. It's time for the FTW podcast, the very professional wrestling world in all its very professional, laughable glory. I am Harrison, and with me as always is Joe. Say hello, Joe.
Hello, my fans.
Rob, say hello, Rob.
I'm not getting paid enough to do this shit.
Hey, we got you to say something other than hey.
Yes, you did. Yeah, you did.
I am done. Check it out. Show over. I'm done. Someone else take over.
Thank God, finally.
And we have a special treat for you guys. We got Mike from the from the PWTorch.com. Ah, shit. All right. Say hi, Mike.
Wow, that's a great intro.
Hey, come on. It's harder than it looks.
That is not professional at all.
It isn't. It really isn't. I'm with Michael on that one.
Yeah.
Alright, we got Garvin manning the boards. Tonight is episode number 116, coming to you live on May 29, 2012. And on tonight's show, are we too soft on TNA and WWE? Is Punk Brian becoming too much of a good thing? And what happens to Harrison after he watches 5 hours of Chyna having sex? All this and more coming up on the FTW podcast. If you're new to the show, check us out on FTWpodcast.com for more about us and how to get involved in tonight's show as well as upcoming shows. You can reach out to us on Twitter, Facebook, voicemail, text message, email. We're bringing your comments throughout the show. It's going to be an absolute blast. Tonight's live chat can be found at FTWpodcast.com/live. Hit that party for the hive mind of what's awesome and everything that's great about this show. You can also email us questions to questions@FTWpodcast.com. And if you're on Twitter, use the hashtag FTWLive. We have follow-up from last week. Comments that were left on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and stuff, so we're going to bring them up. Cool Hand Flash on YouTube said Styles was in WCW briefly. I remember him doing the springboard shooting star press out of the ring on Thunder. This is true. See, I said that he was in WWE briefly. I was incorrect. It was WCW, and it was a tag team cruiserweight championship tournament or something. Yeah, he was involved in that. He got eliminated in the first round. But yeah, Cool Hand Flash, good catch, because that is what happened. Mr. Ashik 884 said that he couldn't believe that I said Christian was the same as Edge without the edginess. Personally, he believes that Christian is better than Edge, and he would have carried SmackDown if Orton wasn't there. I don't think so. The problem with carrying a show, which Christian really can't do, is he can't really reverse a crowd. If a crowd is dead, unfortunately, with all of Orton's faults and all the things that we do mock him for it, the guy can work a match to get a crowd excited. Christian really can't do that. Joe, Mike, you weren't on last week. I mean, do you think I'm off base with that? Do you think Mr. Ashik has a point here?
I think you are brain dead. I think Christian can turn crowds around when he's used correctly. Obviously, when he's playing the heel role, it doesn't work. But if you watched him, well, he was the the ECW champion. He was able to turn a crowd. When he came back, he was a fan favorite.
Mike?
I think as a heel, he's kind of he just has that one note to him, that cheap heat, and yeah, as a heel, I don't think he can get the crowd back, but he's terrific as that veteran babyface.
Sure, but at the same time, Edge could do it both face and heel. Which is my point. Christian is like Edge, but Edge light.
Yeah, I guess.
So I mean, if you had to pick it between Christian, if you had to look at it between the three of them, Christian, Orton, and Edge, I'm sorry, Christian is not the guy I would want to carry a show. I mean, to be the face.
Oh, see, for me,
no, yeah.
But I wouldn't want Orton to do it either. I think Edge is the only guy who could carry a show.
Well, yeah, but okay, you have to eliminate one.
I would eliminate Orton.
Really? You would take Christian over Orton?
Yes, I would.
Ooh. Real quick, why? Just
talent.
Talent? Yeah, I mean, Orton's matches do kind of follow the same kind of pattern.
So do Christian's to an extent, but Christian has the ability to do more. I have not seen that out of Orton in years.
And Christian is much better on the mic than Orton is. So.
No, that's not even contest, Rob. I mean, come on. Christian could fart into a microphone and do a better job.
I don't know. I think Orton as a heel blows both of those guys away. I would take Orton as a heel over either of them as face or heel.
Really?
I would take Edge as the heel. Just Edge, face or heel, he's number one.
And Edge is a very, very, very good heel. But I think Orton's just a little bit better as a heel.
I think Orton works as a heel when he's got Cena or Triple H across from him. After that, the curve drops dramatically.
Okay. That's fair. Chat is saying that they could build Captain Charisma to carry a show if they would give him the ball for real. I don't know. They've kind of done that a few times. I mean, they kind of did it when they gave him the World Heavyweight Championship, and he didn't take that turn, you know?
That's because they turned him heel.
Oh, yeah.
Which time? The first time they gave him the title is for 48 hours, and then second. Yeah.
Right. But that's when he went face. He was face. They took it away. Then he transitioned into heel.
Yeah.
So he didn't really have a good run. Now the ECW title, on the other hand, that he had a good run with.
Yeah, that's true. And you know, and then you got the mid-tier IC belts and stuff like that. But anyway, Chad's saying Christian isn't a third-generation superstar, so he had to prove himself as more to the boss instead of Orton, who grew up in the business. Yeah, you could say that, but then you could kind of look at of legacy. We have Orton, Rhodes, and a third guy who I can't remember because he hasn't been on TV in any kind of appreciable way in a long time. So being a third generation superstar is kind of a bonus. If you don't do anything with it, you're not going to do much. Christian actually has range in his voice to take that over Orton and his monotone. Absolutely. I mean, I can't imagine anybody would like Orton on the mic. And
I just every time Orton's on the mic, I think it's a Geico commercial. He sounds like a fucking caveman.
Orton, and my favorite comment from the chat, my name is Randy Orton. You thought Snooki was orange? Check this out. Pecker Decker on YouTube. Now look, I know what you're thinking. This is actually a really good comment. Pecker Decker on YouTube said, I find the podcast reviews, our podcast reviews specifically, of TNA and WWE very soft. It seems like fans only see good things about TNA or WWE. It'd be interesting to hear a more critical review of both TNA and WWE. The Don Tony Show, which unfortunately I'm going to say I have never heard of or watched, gives a more
Don
harsher...
Tony sounds like a real card.
Yeah. The Don Tony Show gives a more harsher and questioning reviews of both the TNA and WWE. This is an excellent point, and I'm going to address it directly. The reason why, and we do talk about this a lot backstage. Garvin, Joe specifically, and myself have discussed this ad nauseum. The reason why we don't do this is because we find that being overly critical and harsh on a show gives you the... can give the impression that you have the position of being more knowledgeable. That if you play the cynic, you're giving the idea of, oh, I've seen it all, I've been it all, and this bores me. And it's really, really tired. It's a lot harder to find ways that you like something, areas of improvement, and give an opinion of something at face value without trying to make yourself seem much smarter than you actually are. It's
easy for people to criticize.
Oh,
it's a lot harder to compliment.
And it's not even like we go out of our way to find compliments. We just look at the product as it is, which you have to look at pro wrestling as it is. And we do, and trust me, if you listen to all of our shows, we do repeatedly address weaknesses that we find with them and faults that we repeatedly find with them. One of the big things I have is I think storylines are just so, they never take them to that next level as far as what they could do with them creatively. I know just complaints that we have repeatedly that we bring up about the industry as a whole. But yeah, like Joe said, it's a lot easier to criticize, and it's a lot easier to criticize and make yourself seem smart or make yourself feel smart, which is why I think explains YouTube commentators. And we are not attacking Don Tony. I've never heard his show. I'll try and give it a listen this week to figure out what it's like, because if as a friend and a fan of our show want us to hear this, just see what we think, yeah, I'll give it a listen. And maybe Don Tony brings up some really good points. We can have him on our show and have his viewpoint. But that's why we do it the way we do, what we do when we do.
See, sometimes I feel like people that do nothing but complain, it's like they can give a review of Rongo. Oh, Alberto Rio versus Santino, that sucked. And Kofi and Truth versus Ziggler, that sucked. And The Miz sucked. And Brodus Clay sucked. I start wondering, then why do you watch the show if you hate everything?
Yeah.
Why am I listening to you?
And not only that, but like you said, Michael, when you're stopping it at, well, it sucked. Well, why did it suck? What was wrong with it? You're not really addressing. You're not really showing the audience that they should listen to you. Like, I like to think that, yes, we do compliment a bit more than we criticize, but when we compliment or criticize, we have a reason why. Here's why I think it worked. Here's why I don't like it.
Yeah, exactly, Rob. That's an excellent point, that we don't just do it willy-nilly. We don't do it because we want to. We do it because there's a reason for it. Gary Albone on Facebook said, a 3-hour Raw is awesome because hopefully we got to see an hour of Kelly Kelly. My favorite reason for this comment is Garvin then popped on and said, wait, are you serious? And he said, yeah, I love her. She's hot. And then Joe just types in fail.
Fail.
Look, Gary, you're entitled to your opinion. Yeah, 3-hour Raw is going to be interesting. You got a crush on Kelly Kelly. Good for you. But I just, of all the reasons, good on him. I mean, he's got an opinion. It's different than mine. I'm not going to criticize him for it. Kelly Kelly, she is a looker. God damn it.
He apparently
he could not even keep a straight face for the time it took him to say that.
Garvin's got the best comment in the chat. We want an hour of Bryan versus Punk. He wants Kelly Kelly. Hey, look, I'm going to be honest. Some people, I mean, you go to Buca de Beppo for the dessert. Yeah, they got good food and everything, but Chocolate Vesuvio is where it's at. Gary's got a good point. Yeah, we can go in for the meat of Daniel and Bryan and Punk, but look, I'm not going to turn down an ice cream sundae at the end if I have a choice. So yeah, I mean, Kelly Kelly, sure thing. She's a looker. Yeah, I can't. Oh, anyway, anybody else have an opinion on this before we dive into Impact?
I'm fine with going to Impact.
Rob, what was your absolute favorite thing about Impact? And let me ask you, was it the official announcement that Brooke Hogan will finally be on Impact as the head GM, diva, knockout, whatever?
That was not it, no. My favorite moment of the of Impact would have to be the gut check match, actually. I thought Austin Aries versus Joey
Ron
Ryan.
Burgundy?
It did look like a much smaller version of Rod Burgundy, but Austin Aries and Joey Ryan had a great match. I love the way that Joey Ryan came in. His gimmick was much more established. He seemed more comfortable on the mic and everything when he was talking. He and Austin Aries had great chemistry in the ring together. All around, this was a great match. And I really hope that Ryan gets the TNA contract with maybe some character adjustments.
I mean, I think the gimmick worked for him, because you could tell he's totally trying to pull off the Ron Burgundy thing. But I think he was much better than Alex Silva. Oh,
definitely. I mean, this guy is 10 times better than Alex Silva is. And, I mean, like I said, he went toe-to-toe with Austin Aries, and for a couple of minutes in the match, if you're watching it, it was up in there. It's like, wow, Ryan might actually win this match. I mean, that's how good and solid a match he had. At times it looked like Ryan was a viable candidate to actually come in and beat the X Division champion.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. Although, I mean, it would be interesting just because if they get Austin Aries out, like we keep talking about, get Austin Aries out, make a main event, whatever. Speaking of absolutely awesome matches, we saw the return of the no contest. Garrett Bischoff versus Devon when Robbie E and Robbie T interfere. I mean, that's a tag match being built for a pay-per-view. But what do you think about, no contest, Rob? I mean, did that really need to happen?
Yeah, not in this place, no. I mean, Robbie E and Robbie T, this has been ongoing. They interrupt Devon's matches or whatnot. Devon takes on both of them. This has been going back and forth. I really don't see what the big benefit here is. I mean, the only thing I can see is TNA's probably grooming Garrett Bischoff for TV title run, but they decided to make him wait a little bit, so they're getting the crowd a little bit used to the idea of Garrett Bischoff maybe as the TV champion. That's the only real payoff I see coming from this match. I don't know why it had to go no contest.
Okay. Gail Kim, Madison Rayne, and ODB versus defeating ODB and Eric Young. 3 knockout belts.
Yeah, three knockout belts involved in this match. The match could have been a lot better than it was. I was surprised that they let Eric Young have some offense, actually picking up Gail Kim and Madison Rayne and body slamming them. I think that's as close to actual offense as I've seen a male wrestler be allowed against a female wrestler on Spike TV.
Yeah, you can tell that TNA is kind of flirting with the idea. They're feeling out the crowd, seeing what they can get away with, and I kind of got to commend them for it, because it's like, it's when you have this match that's a line, you gotta, at some point they're gonna have to cross it.
Yeah.
So at what point are they gonna pop that cherry and just go full out?
And yeah, I think you've got a great point here, Harrison. It looked like, this was just TNA. Okay, what's Spike gonna let us get away with? Let's try this. Let's see how far we can get before we have angry representatives from Spike calling us saying, "Hey, which part of we don't want you to do this did you not understand?"
Yeah, and the gauge crowd reaction as well. From the chat saying, the opening meeting, did those 5 guys not notice the cameraman? Do you like that format style on some of these segments, Rob?
You know what? I did. I really like the fact that, they're ignoring the camera, and it's like it harkens back to that reaction show that TNA was running a while back, giving the fan an inroad to see what happens behind the scenes with wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought it was great. I thought it really pushed the Fight Night thing to see Hogan and to listen to Kurt Angle and all of them talk. I loved it. That was one of the most captivating segments for me.
Okay. 2 matches left, and then we'll dive out of here. RVD versus Gunner. Or RVD beating Gunner? I mean, what do you think about this? Think RVD still has it? Because I think the guy's got to retire.
I don't know. I've got to give compliments to Gunner for being the company man and taking the shot on this one. I don't know why they're pushing RVD here. I'm with you. I mean, I've been a huge RVD fan for most of his career, but I really think the man's running out of gas, and Gunner certainly was having a lot more. Gunner's got a lot more to push right now than RVD does.
Okay, and Bobby Roode defeating the incomparable AJ Styles. I mean, what do you think about that? What do you think about AJ's the storyline as a whole with AJ?
It was a great match. These two put on a great match. I would have liked to see it remain more or less just Bobby Roode, AJ Styles. I think Kazarian and Daniels got involved at the end of the match, which kind of sucked. But by and large, the two had a great match. If you're going to push AJ Styles for the world title, I think you have to wrap up this storyline that he's in with Daniels and Kazarian first. And I don't think TNA has any idea what they want to do with that storyline yet.
Okay. Which is interesting because, we talked about it in the pre-show about how much we like TNA storyline writing anyway. Chat saying, I'm fine with RVD staying in the ring a bit longer, but for God's sake, don't let him on the mic anymore. Agree?
Yeah. RVD has no mic skills anymore. I mean, he's just God.
Not unless you can edit it heavily.
If I hear him say, dude, man, one more time, I mean...
Get it, 420. Okay, Rob. Impact as a whole, what do you rate it?
I'd say
alligators.
Maybe...
In alligators. On a scale of 4 to 7 alligators, what do you name it? What do you rate it?
4 to 7 alligators?
You can go decimal points if you need to.
Okay. I'd say probably 6 alligators.
Okay, 6 alligators. You're going to hear from Rob. 6 alligators.
That bad? Oh, man.
And a couple crocodile tears.
Speaking of crocodile tears, Joe, favorite thing about SmackDown. Go, Joe.
I'm going to have to say my favorite thing about SmackDown was the main event, which is Alberto Del Rio, Kane, and Randy Orton in a match. Triple threat to determine who's going to be the number 1 contender and who wins, but Alberto Del Rio! Yes. And I promptly went to Taco Bell. One of the other things that impressed me, Ryback beating Brian Edwards and Kevin Bendel, only for the fact that when he picked up both men at once to perform the muscle buster that he does. I was impressed with the power.
Yeah, that was very impressive.
Always happy to see Darren Young and Titus O'Neil. I mean, Black Cena and Titus O'Neil. This time beat Jimmy and Jay Uso. I don't like the squashing of the Usos, but I like the building of Darren Young and Titus O'Neil as a formidable tag team. And they didn't botch a finisher this time. That's excellent.
Yeah, golf clap for that one.
Yeah, they didn't kill Yoshitatsu.
No, Sandow nearly did.
Well, you're welcome.
From the chat, do you think Ryback will ever get past the Goldberg chance?
It'll take a while.
When he loses.
He needs a formidable opponent. He needs a match that isn't a squash. It's the same thing like we had with Brodus Clay. Okay, we've seen him do the squashes. You can next time he's going to be fighting 5 dudes at once, and then pick them all up in a muscle buster. I mean, it's impressive for what he's doing, like the power moves, but we need more. He wants more. We need more. He needs to be put him against Kane, put him against another big show, put him against Brodus Clay once Brodus Clay finishes up with the show. Give him somebody who's somewhat of a semi-equal force to deal with. And then I think the chance will go away.
Yeah, from the chat, at least Brodus fights mid-carders, which is true, because all we're getting from Ryback is the local talent, and that's all we're getting. And then we get the reaction shots. But no, it's at some point, they're going to have to do something with Ryback besides him coming out doing squash matches. Yeah, watching him do the muscle buster on 2 guys is really cool, and it was awesome, but unless you start stacking, next time is he going to do it with 3 guys? Is he going to do it with 6? Is he going to turn him into a pyramid and then throw him into the crowd? It's like, at what point does he almost become a parody of himself?
Too late.
Well, okay. Then for me, Joe, how much longer do you see this going? Do you see SummerSlam? We're still talking about Ryback again squashing some local guy from the W or whatever.
I think we get through June still doing it. I don't know about July and August.
So you're thinking maybe another 4 weeks of this?
At least.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think they'll do one more month of Ryback squashes before he starts to fight someone who, is somewhat credible. Brodus Clay did the same thing, where he was fighting guys like, Curtis Hawkins and
Yoshitatsu.
Where he was fighting those guys for months, and you're going, he's just going to run through these guys, but it's a good enhancement match for them. Hopefully, when Ryback starts fighting guys that are at his level, they'll at least hype it, unlike what they've been doing with Brodus. Where I thought that match last Monday, they should have hyped a little more Brodus for Space. Even though it never happened, they still should have given more than 2 hours notice. And hopefully they'll do that with Ryback when he's ready.
Okay, so Joe, Mike, if you had to pick the first guy to go up against Ryback, who would it be? Just real quick. Joe?
I'm going to say the return when Wade Barrett comes back.
Okay, so you're saying Wade...
Yeah, I think it'd be a good natural... matchup for them, 2 former Nexus guys. I don't know if they want to, mention that Ryback was a Nexus, or I don't know if they did, but I think it'd be a missile match.
Garvin's got the idea of Welsh Batista.
I like that pick.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. You know what? I could even see, depending on which way you want to push Ryback, if you want to push him as a heel, Christian. Because he's done the feuds with big men before, like Mark Henry.
That's true.
Or if you want to make him a face, you can do Kane. Because really, Kane's not doing a whole hell of a lot until they flesh out more of this AJ, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk story that involves Kane a bit. He doesn't have a whole lot on his plate. They could even do him concurrently.
Okay. From the chat, and what do I think of SmackDown? I think 24 shots is not payment enough for Kane destroying the internet darling known as Ryder. Daniel Bryan is the wrath of the IWC and is just starting. What do you think of that? Do you think that, what's your reaction, guys?
Daniel Bryan is the wrath of the IWC? What?
Skip that part. Go to the first part.
Just the first part. What do they think of Smack? I think 24 shots not payment enough for Kane. Well, it's so what? Zack Ryder got destroyed. If they're not going to do anything with Zack Ryder and they're just going to keep having Kane destroy him, who cares?
Yeah.
Ryder needs a reinvention at this point, or he needs something to change. Maybe a feud with goes heel and goes against Christian. I don't know. You can't. I want to see him get a mid-card push, and I don't know who would be the best fit for him right now.
The problem I have with Zack Ryder is he's kind of a jokey, mid-carder and everything, and that slot's already taken by Santino.
Yeah, they had their shot with Zack Ryder back in January and February to really do something with him.
It didn't.
I think he's gone as far as he will.
Yeah, I mean he's got talent, but yeah, I mean there's.
So he's taking the Matt Hardy role.
Whoa! I wouldn't say he's that good.
All right. So, anything else, Joe, on SmackDown?
No.
Cool. Raw. Raw. I thought it was really cool how they brought up the crap booking, because it was something that we brought up when 2 weeks ago when Show got fired, and then they had a dance off 5 minutes later. We complained about it. And we said that it was just kind of like this crap booking, and it was like weird. And then basically, I like that Show came on and addressed it. And then I got really excited because I thought, okay, here's where we see Show give his justification for going heel. And I was hoping he would go anti-crowd by saying, I got fired. 5 minutes later, you people are on your feet cheering. What the hell? I come out here, and he goes, and I didn't want to, what am I supposed to do? I can't do the unemployment line. I'm just trying to earn a living. I got a family to think about, all that stuff. No, they didn't. They just address it with a throwaway line and move on. It was totally lame, for me anyway. The promo that Show did was good, but it's been done before. I wanted him to really, he's got the crowd. He basically, in that promo, he had a potential of really getting the crowd against him by blaming them, and he didn't. And I think the reason why is because WWE has kind of lost control of the crowd at this point. We saw that with Daniel Bryan and the Yes Chants. WWE can't steer a crowd anymore, at least to a point where they're willing to rely on them to help build heat. So now they're doing it with storylines, matches, and segments, as opposed to really getting the crowd heated up. And they're hoping that in the match they can do it, or they'll slow burn them or something. So I think that's where that is right now, and that's why we're getting Big Show rehashing the storyline that we've seen over and over and over again.
So without storylines, angles, and matches, how are you supposed to get heat from the crowd?
No. I'm saying like in this segment, like Show could have basically blamed the crowd and used the crowd's reaction of booing him for that reason. Basically,
but didn't he do that last week?
No, but he didn't. No, but basically,
those words had come out of his mouth recently. I'll admit, I missed the beginning of. I caught the very tail end of his promo on Raw, but damn, like I could have sworn he's made those statements previous in the last few weeks. Anyone?
Man, I can't think of anything word for word. I mean, I can't really bring that up, but it just feels like, as a whole, the storyline, he's not really directing he's directing his anger at the crowd like we've always seen with every other KO that's been in this situation, but it's not like he's really working them into a froth, you know what I mean? Like really getting them riled up as it stands. It's just like a couple throwaway lines in a promo or in a promo, and then just kind of steers it back towards, and that's why Cena is going to be such an ass or whatever.
See, I really like that. To me, it gave a good reason for him to want to fight Cena and to turn on him at the pay-per-view to say, Cena's a guy, he's supposed to stand up for what's right. He was my friend, and instead of having some kind of protest or something, instead he just joked with Laurinaitis instead of trying to help his friend get his job back. I thought that was good. That was a good reason for Show to want to go against Cena. I thought that was really, while it was it went a little long, I thought it was a really good promo. I thought Show did a really good job of selling it.
All right, that's fair. I just don't like the idea that Show would go up against Cena like that, and basically, I just think it is a good story. It is a good promo. I just would have liked it better if he would have turned the crowd on him. But anyway, I mean, spent 3 minutes on this. I love that Vicky came out dressed like a thing of Greek yogurt. It was awesome.
If I told you, nice cleavage.
Yeah, if I told you we've seen a pay-per-view quality tag team match on Raw, your mind would have exploded. And breaking up Jiggles, Ziggles, and Joe, help me out here. I need a third one. We got Jiggles, Ziggles, we need a third.
Ziggles, Swiggles, and Jiggles.
Swiggles, there we are. I like that they're breaking them up. I really like that. We talked about it last week when Joe wasn't on here, about breaking the tag team up, maybe bringing AW in on that. I really, really like that. I love the video of Johnny Ace. God damn that mullet. Just bring back the mullet. And really, how long do you think before Cena drops that in a promo? I mean, he's got to bring up the mullet. Bryan and Punk had an awesome match. And this got me really angry. AJ came out, and it was fine or whatever. And basically, King said the dumbest fucking thing I've heard him say. First off, I'm tired. I'm tired of King. I'm done with him. I mean, I am done. He cannot hold a candle to Cole. Cole runs rings around the guy. He's done. Get him out of there. He said AJ has no business being ringside because she's tiny, frail, and fragile and shouldn't be that close to the ring. This is somebody who wrestled in that same ring. I do not understand how you
have a penis.
Exactly. Just because her junk doesn't swing, it's bullshit. And I'm just thinking this is ridiculous because she's wrestling in that same ring, but she can't be there by the big scary men because he said these words, tiny, frail, and fragile. Said those words. And I'm like, you fucking dinosaur. I mean, how... the only thing I can think of King, I hope he lays awake. This is how much I hate King right now. I hope he lays awake at night staring at the ceiling, knowing that by the time the talent that's in the ring is his age, he'll be dead.
But he's such a nice old man. He says stuff like puppies and...
Exactly. It's this bullshit. It's like Taz with Let the Pigeons Loose. I mean, this is going to be my fail, and I'm going to go into it more then, but it's this bullshit stuff that we got to treat women like objects in professional wrestling. And it's like... It's okay. Booking aside, talent aside. I mean, and the way that they got to come up and they got to basically dry hump the ring ropes and all that shit. I mean, like the hair extensions and the boob jobs, all that shit aside. Saying on camera that a professional female wrestler is tiny, frail, and fragile next to the ring, it was the dumbest thing I have seen on wrestling camera. It's so stupid. I can't even formulate words and sentences correctly. That's how stupid it is. It's making me dumber. So that I got in. Ooh, I was so pissed when I saw that. Anyway, does anybody want to argue with me about that?
I think you're saying that because apparently somebody in your house got mad about it, and you are trying to get laid.
Emily wasn't even here at the time, although she thought it was funny. She thought it was funny. What did she say? She actually said this. When they were listing off of Johnny Ace's injuries, she started laughing because they were basically making it sound more damaged than he was, and so like they list off all the things, and she's like, he has 6 bruises, and he had to get bandaged. I mean, it was just, I thought it was really, really, really funny. How basically she just like stopped what she was doing, came into the room and went, so he's bruised? Is that what they're saying? So, Brodus Clay and Big Show. I was really excited about this, and then I'm going to talk about this, and then we're going to move on. I was really excited about this because I thought finally we're going to see the end of the Brodus Clay streak with Big Show. Never happened. Big Show assaulted Clay rematch, and then that was the end of it. I got excited because I thought, okay, here's the turn. Brodus Clay is going to lose. It's going to be Big Show. Here's another way we can get the crowd against Big Show. Yeah, didn't happen. He basically assaulted him, which was cool. And then for some reason, Kofi and R-Truth come running out, and they got squashed. So I don't know. Maybe they're building a 3-way match with these, like 3 of them versus Big Show. I don't know. Chat's saying, don't be a bastard like Big Show. AJ is not safe with that weight. She is kind of wispy. I'll give you that. But come on, she's a professional wrestler. Anyway, so I'm with the chat. Raw, if this is 2 hours, 3 hours is going to be a while. I mean, it's going to be dragging.
I thought this was a pretty decent episode of Raw. Nothing really noteworthy happened, but I didn't think it was a slow episode by any stretch of the imagination. You had 2 really good matches. The tag match and the Punk Bryan match were better than most Raw matches you get.
But
the ending was a little disappointing. They gave us the old bait and switch on the Clay Show match. You were interested. I think a lot of people wanted to see Brodus Clay actually go up against someone who was bigger than him and could give him a run for his money.
And it started off fantastic. That spear by Show onto Brodus Clay, I was like, damn.
But I thought this was a good heat getter for Big Show to destroy Clay and the tag champions. And he did mention them in his opening promo. You know, his two friends, Kofi Kingston and R-Truth, didn't come to his aid either.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't explain why they ran to the ring, but I mean, that's WWE planting a seed, and that's just their way of doing it.
Thank you for that. Good call. I completely missed that. Good call. I mean, the card wasn't terrible. It's just I'm looking at it, I'm like 2 hours. I'm thinking, like, if this is the booking we're going to get for 2 hours, what else can we throw into this to fill up another hour? And the only thing I can think of is Cena. Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, Cena was nowhere on this show.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
Shut up,
he did that nice
I'm serious.
Day. He did that nice Memorial Day voiceover, and I'd like to thank John Cena for keeping us safe and free.
And the WWE for keeping us safe and free, as they're so often willing to remind us of. And keep in mind, WWE keeping safe and free was trending on Twitter for 3 hours last night. All right, so time for Ask FTW. You can ask us questions by emailing questions at ftwpodcast.com. Send us a tweet to @AskFT at FTW Podcast. Use the hashtag AskFTW and post on our Facebook wall, facebook.com/FTW Podcast. First item on the docket from Wrestling News Source, or @WN Source on Twitter. We had Lee on the show a few weeks ago. Lesnar and UFC. Did WWE effectively replace Lesnar with Show, and why so little Triple H and Lesnar? Mike, what do you think?
No, I don't think that. Well, yeah, they did replace it just for the month. I think not having Triple H and Lesnar on the show is just them trying to give a slow burn to the feud. I think they're going to hold that off till SummerSlam, and they can't have them out there every week, doing something and not having a blow off match for the next 3 months.
Okay. Now, do you think that do you think they're kind of hamstrung with Lesnar's limited appearances? Like, I mean, like when I look at
I do, and I think they're trying to go with some old tactics to try to make up for Lesnar's contract and what they can and can't do with him.
Okay, because what I'm thinking is this is evidence that we're going to see Lesnar versus possibly Cena or somebody at WrestleMania. Because they got to slow burn this for a year. If Lesnar was only going to be here till SummerSlam, I mean, 30 appearances isn't that big of a deal. But the fact is they got to get all the way until next February.
Yeah, but, I mean, do you think they're going to flip this on and off between this thing between him and Triple H and take Triple H all the way to WrestleMania? Versus Lesnar?
No, I don't think.
You don't think the ego is big enough to say Lesnar versus Triple H at Mania?
Oh, I think the ego is big enough. I just don't think that they will.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I mean, because I can see the merits of both of it. Because when you look at Triple H, I mean, the guy's getting up there. Can he really carry a match? I mean, I would say yeah, but not against Lesnar. I don't trust Lesnar in the ring with anybody that isn't in top form because he's going to injure him at some point. And I think Triple H, being as old as he is and with ring rust that he's got, I don't think he'd survive a match with Lesnar. I think Lesnar would break him in half.
And I think when you look at a guy like, when you think of someone like Lesnar, and you go with the dream matches with WWE's current roster, Triple H probably isn't even in your top 3 of guys you want of money matches with Lesnar.
Okay. But, what about elephant in the room? Chat's bringing it up. The Rock. He said he wanted the title back.
Yeah, what about him and Lesnar? I don't see Lesnar facing anyone for a title.
No, so Lesnar's got the title, goes up against The Rock for it, or Rock's. Lesnar versus Rock at WrestleMania. Possibility?
Yeah, good possibility.
Yeah, I mean, I think
they've worked before. I think they trust each other.
Okay. Do you think it would overshadow?
That'd be some big money.
Yeah, I think so too. Do you think it would overshadow the previous?
No,
WrestleMania.
No.
Okay. And then the other question I have with Lesnar and Rock, these are two guys who aren't traditionally WWE superstars. At least not what they're known for. They're really famous for outside the ring. Rock for his movies now, and Lesnar for UFC. Do you think that would kind of chafe a few people in WWE to see two outsiders come in and basically headline? They'd be all over the posters. I mean, let's face it.
Oh, that would definitely upset some of the wrestlers. I mean, just look at The Rock coming in. that was just one guy in the match. Imagine you throw a second guy in there who's not on the road 365 days a year. That would definitely rattle some cages.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Fabe. On Twitter said, as much as I love Punk Bryan, I'm starting to worry that this will become overkill very quickly. Joe, what do you think? Do you think Punk Bryan could get old quick?
It could. It's just like Jericho Punk. Especially if they throw some stupid storyline in. But I don't think we've hit that. I don't think we're close to that point yet. Now we've had one match where Punk wins, controversially to an extent. We've had Daniel Bryan win now, somewhat controversially. I think that this could go on for a while. I just don't want to see them do this like every freaking week. If they do it every freaking week, you're going to run out of steam.
Okay, fair enough.
It's gonna turn into Christian versus Orton. How that is like every fucking show.
Okay, then how long would you give it?
It depends on how often they're having these matches. I mean, I'll give them a total of 5 to 6 matches over the next 2 months.
That's a lot.
A lot of time or a lot of
a lot of matches and such a lot of matches.
We figure two pay-per-views and then
yeah, okay. Yeah, if you get the 2 pay-per-views, yeah. Sorry, I was just thinking like
you're
8
thinking
weeks of Raw and SmackDown.
No. I mean, you guys use a couple for pay-per-views, but I mean, especially if you give them time.
Yeah. That's like a match every other week, though.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget if they accidentally sign a contract and it's false count nowhere, that match just goes on and on and on.
Yeah. Chat saying too good to say too much and trust them to be creative enough to change up the match, and basically also agreeing, saying too much a good thing generally doesn't turn out well. Yeah, you can trust Daniel Bryan and CM Punk to really come up with a good variety of matches, but I would be more worried about the booking around it, like the story around it. Like what you were saying, Joe.
I'm a little annoyed that they had them at Over the Limit, and they give away the match 2 weeks later on Raw. I feel bad for anyone that plunked down their $60 to watch that on pay-per-view when you could have saved your money 2 weeks later. Saw not as good of a match, but still a pretty good match between the two.
I think that's the thing, is it wasn't as good of a match.
Well, no, Mike's got a really good point. I mean, the only reason that we talked about it ad nauseum before that pay-per-view was CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan. We got the payoff. Now we can get it once again every 2 weeks now for the next couple months. It's like, I mean, so what? We paid $60 to pop our cherry?
It's that problem that WCW had where you just give away too big matches on TV and people don't buy the pay-per-views then to see the same match.
And if it's any consolation, back when I would have paid $60 to pop my cherry.
From the chat, I am annoyed that they have yet to cut promos at each other uninterrupted. That's a good point. I think both these guys are very good on the mic by themselves. They don't really need to be constantly interrupted. If Show can get through a promo without getting cut, why can't these two?
I think the feud needs to build into the point where winner gets AJ wearing only the WWE title.
I like that I had my discussion earlier about saying stupid things about women wrestlers, and then Joe said that. Stop/10 on Twitter said, with Flair possibly gone from TNA, who would you like to... Well, the difference is Joe's joking. I don't think Joe is making a career saying denigrating things about women like
I'm not.
People. Exactly. Styles/10 on Twitter saying, with Flair possibly gone from TNA, who would you like to see take his place in the gut check judging panel? Rob, who would it be?
My dream person to fill this role would be Tommy Dreamer. Who I think TNA will probably pick. I think we're going to see either Hulk Hogan or Dixie Carter.
Damn it, Garvin took mine, D'Lo.
I was going to jump in with D'Lo or actually pull Taz from the booth.
Oh, as long as he isn't doing play-by-play, I'm fine with that.
Right. If you pull Taz as the man Taz, like as Peter Sonorka or whatever you want. I mean, just not this. Let the pigeons loose character.
But the tough
enough Taz.
That's a great pick, Joe. I would like that almost as much as Tommy Dreamer. If you take like Tough Enough Taz the wrestler, Taz who's out there explaining to people how to do a suplex properly, I think he could be really good in that gut check role as a judge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, beat me if you can, survive if I let you. That's the talent we need out there giving critique.
Yeah, that would be a great other use for him, Joe. That's
hell, if he was on the mic that way, it would be even better.
Yes.
Cody on Facebook said, Joey Ryan is definitely a lot better than Alex Silva. Rob, you agree?
Definitely. Joey Ryan was better than Alex Silva in every way during his gut check match. Like I said, he seemed to have an established character. He was very comfortable in it. I mean, he tried to beat Austin Aries not just in the match, but in the showmanship area. He did better in the little promo before the match. In every way measurable, Joey Ryan seems to be better than Alex Silva.
If he ever says, by Zeus's beard, I will lose it. Or, I'm not going to lie to you, that smells like pure gasoline. It's made from Little Sex Panther. I could quote...
Human Torch was denied a home loan.
Hey, 60% of the time, it works 100% of the time.
When in Rome.
I've never heard that phrase before. I would say it's yogging, or I heard it's wild. All right, I'm sorry, we can sit here and badly quote Ron Burgundy all night. Judas on Facebook said, Robbie E is so underrated, it's insane. He's just throwing it out there. Joe, Rob, what do you think?
I'm going to agree with him on the whole. I think that the gimmick is actually taking him down a notch. I don't think TNA's given him the space he's needed to really make because most of the time he's had a valet. He's had a valet initially with Cookie. He's got Rob Terry with him now. And I think that the time in between, he was basically used as a jobber. I think if they gave him a run without a valet, he might be able to actually stand on his own and do some good work.
Rob, agree or disagree?
I disagree, and I think his gimmick has ruined really any chance, because unless they take him off camera for a while, the only thing you're going to be thinking of every time you see him is, listen, my dude, all I got to do is I'm going to go out here and win, my dude every 2 seconds, or my bro, or stupid shit like that. It was a crappy gimmick that he got stuck with, but if they don't find a way to reinvent the character, he's going to be unsalvageable at this point.
Apparently Rob has never actually been east of Pennsylvania and doesn't know that people out there actually do talk that way.
I'm aware of how it's so make for a stupete gimmick.
Don't forget and also don't forget that it is a stupid gimmick, and don't forget the We Want Ryder chants. Pete on the Mark's Facebook page said this: ECW revival with Heyman coming back with Brock on board. Join the revolution is the catchphrase for the game. CM Punk saying he was a Heyman guy on the shoot heard around the world. New DVD release. Maybe I'm grasping at straws here, but it would be nice. Yeah, I mean, there is a new ECW DVD. Look, I loved ECW for what it was. I don't know about the new ECW DVD. I'm not going to watch it because I couldn't take Paul Heyman talking about how awesome his product is. Because really, when you hear him talk about ECW, you know in his head he's replacing ECW with his name.
No, we're going to see an ECW revival. I'm going to say no. But the thing is that you bring Heyman, you put Heyman back on TV briefly, and then you come out with an ECW DVD. The ECW marks will eat it up. It's just money. You're printing money at that point.
Yeah, Joe's absolutely right. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a nice little cash cow to get extra money off the ECW marks. I don't see any kind of ECW revival happening. Heyman's pretty much come out and said, that's the past for him. He wants to do something new. Probably, if I had to guess, something MMA related, so kind of mixing the genres.
Yeah, it doesn't feel that way because he had a hand in Lesnar's get up, right?
Yeah,
with the sponsorship and everything. So with those boots, but yeah, look, I don't like. I've said it thousands of times. I don't like Heyman, but anyway, yeah, Joe, Mike, you nailed it. It's all about the money. And the new DVD, although I find it weird, they're saying the new DVD has like hours of stuff they haven't shown. on previous DVDs? I mean, how much ECW crap can there be that they haven't shown already?
Oh, they used to have those ridiculous fan cams from every show that they would sell.
So it would just be the fan cam footage?
Yeah,
So the matches are all the same. Like, that's what I'm thinking. They're not going to be new matches or anything. Right?
It might be new to DVD. I mean, they didn't even scratch the ECW library with their previous releases. They could probably do 10 more of these DVDs.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's a good point. That's what I was wondering is, like, if the new ECW Never Before Seen would just be Never Before Seen on DVD, or actually matches that are completely new. From the chat, let ECW die because most of the talent will be dead soon anyways. That's harsh. And
hey, Harrison, let me say, the DVD that's being released is all unseen matches.
See, now that's what I want. Now, from where?
Oh, man, they couldn't even get anyone in the building to buy a ticket. That's sad. No wonder they went out of business.
No, it's untelevised matches. God, I hate you fucking people.
Hell yes!
This is what we get. We get extra Harrisons when we get Mike on.
Take it back, you son of a bitch.
No, sir. That's what you get.
And this is Mike Hupak signing off.
Time for the main event. Brock Lesnar recently attended a recent UFC event. And since then, once again, many are reporting, basically the UFC dirt sheets, our dirt sheets, actual newspapers, also known as news dirt sheets, that there have been talks. Yeah, MPW Torch. There have been talks between Lesnar and UFC President Dana White about a potential return. God, this guy is like the Loch Ness Monster. Anytime Bigfoot, anytime anything happens, oh, dude, did you see it's Bigfoot? I mean, oh, God. Okay, so if this is at all a possibility, or are WWE and UFC working together to try and push more crossover fans to watch both products? I'm going to kick this to Mike, because like you said, PW Torch and everything. What do you think, buddy?
Yeah, I think it's a good possibility that they're trying to get some crossover appeal. There's a lot of those MMA fighters recently been talking about going to TNA, going to WWE, and this could be a Paul Heyman thing to try to, get some synergy going.
Dude, I hate that word. Here's the thing, though. Okay.
Tom told me you hated that word, so I knew I had to work.
Oh, God damn it, Tom! I read. Anyway, that's going to be a black hole if I want to talk about that. Anyway, Tom is a mutual friend of Mike and Mike and me, and he's like a huge business guy. And yeah, he used synergy in like a regular conversation. I almost slapped him. Anyway, here's the thing. Now I understand where you're coming from, Mike, about the crossover fans and everything. Let's face it. If you had crossover fans, I think WWE has a lot more to gain there than UFC does. UFC is on network television. Channel 8. I mean, Fox airs UFC bouts. Yeah, WWE has the largest, they pull in like a consistent 3+ rating on cable news. I got to think, though, that UFC really won't have much to gain by bringing those people in. Will they?
Oh, they haven't been doing too great on their Fox shows, if I'm not mistaken. They haven't been drawing great ratings, and I think UFC is kind of on a decline right now. It's not as big as it was, and I think they could take anything they can get, If they can bring a few people over from wrestling to watch, and wrestling can convert a few of those UFC hardcore fans, I think everyone wins.
Yeah, I'm with Mike on this one. I mean, UFC's got a lot of problems going for it right now. A lot of MMA fighters have been making accusations about the way UFC does things. There's just been, hit after hit that the UFC's been taking, and it's caused them to lose some of their fan base. So if they can get some of the crossover fans, it can be a win for both sides.
Okay. Joe, what do you think?
Sorry about that. My mute button was clicked. Yay, live radio.
Professional.
Yeah, I don't know about the cross-promotion thing. I don't know. I think it's just a ploy to get, WWE to get some crossover by sending Lesnar over to UFC to watch the fight. But I don't think it's like a joint venture between Vince McMahon and Dana White.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a reach because those are two guys. If there is not a country, there's not a landmass on the planet Earth big enough to fit those two egos. I mean, I can't.
They respect each other, and I think UFC is taking a lot of WWE, and if they can, really get in there and learn more about how to market and all the get behind the marketing machine that WWE has, I mean, they could benefit a lot from working together.
Oh yeah, I hands down. I could definitely see, because that's now if you told me that WWE and UFC were getting together, that's where I thought they would be getting together. Building it around Brock Lesnar seems kind of strange to me, because I don't think he can really fight in UFC. I just don't think his health will take it. But I mean, like, the marketing machine of WWE, especially when you consider that the two companies, WWE and UFC, are so similar, that I really do think you're right, Mike. I think Dana White could learn a lot about marketing a global brand like WWE has, like with WWE Studios, with the way they do their house shows, with the way they work their pay-per-views and their weekly shows. That's something that UFC could really model themselves after.
God, I hope we don't see UFC Studios. Junior Del Santos. He's a renegade cop who plays by his own rules.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. Alistair
and his
Overeem
wacky
is
partner Edge.
Alistair Overeem is the Giant Nanny, coming to a DVD recycling bin near you.
Santa with muscles too.
Yes. Make it happen, yes, with muscles too. All right, so basically, and from the chat, also bringing this up, WWE has been using UFC names a lot since Brock jumped to WWE, and if UFC starts doing movies, I find Dana White and slap the shit out of him. Yeah, I think he would be the only one. We've stated a lot. Real quick, we did a lot on why UFC needs WWE. Does WWE need UFC? Mike?
Yeah, I think that they could convert a few of the hardcore UFC fans to show, WWE can be just as exciting or even more exciting than UFC if given the chance. If some of those people can get past the, oh, it's fake, they're not really hitting them.
Yeah,
they could bring some of those fans over.
Okay, Mike, Rob, what do you guys think? Agree?
Yeah, I agree with myself.
Okay, good.
Well, that's good. At least you're not arguing with yourself there, Mike.
I don't know why I said that.
It's stupid.
Idiot.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with what Michael said. I mean, there's a lot. There are some things that WWE could gain. They could increase their fan base a little bit more. I don't think they really need it as much as probably the UFC needs it right now.
Okay.
But there's something for the WWE to gain, and as long as there's any chance of making more money, it's a good idea in Vince's book.
Oh yeah, Mike, Joe, what do you think?
Do you want to go to me? Do you want me to repeat what I said?
Joe, what do you think? All right, well, let's just move on. All right.
Damn mute button. I swear to God I was unmuted.
I heard what you said, and that was an excellent point.
Thank you.
All right, so real quick then. Agree or disagree?
Agree. I think Vince will do whatever he can for the money, but I don't think the companies necessarily need each other. Okay, movies.
Movies. Once again, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Harrison and Ebert at the movies. But Ebert was not on this one because I didn't have time to really test the audio and do the thing. So I'll be doing Ebert for the Edge rookie or Renegade Cop or whatever one. Shut up, Garvin. I can't do everything. Anyway, first a caveat. I am going to review Another Night in Chyna, which is the professional porno that Chyna shot with, I think it was Vivid. It was Vivid. Yeah, I got that written down. All right, so first a caveat. Here's the thing. I originally got the file from Scott from LIMP, the Lethal Injection Mindcast podcast, and he sent me the wrong one. It was the home video one, not the professional one. So thanks to him, I got to see 2 Chyna pornos in one day. And I got to see the 1-2-3 Kid giving the business tour, so I get to cross that one off the bucket list. Thank you, Scott, for proving why everyone I know whose name's Scott is a colossal disappointment. Basically, the porno is professionally done, and it's broken up into four segments, essentially. It starts off with her cutting a promo outside about growing up, personal fitness, how she got into the wrestling gig. These are then intercut with shots of her being naked and stuff. And you'd think this was strange. I mean, you're going to think this is strange, but all I could think about while I was watching this is wondering why they were blurring the Hollywood sign in the background. You know, the one outside LA? That was blurred. I don't know why. Is that like trademarked or something?
Could be.
You can tell it's the Hollywood sign. It's not like they're going to be like, oh, we're going to be coy. She's actually not in California. She's in Washington. It's like, no, that's the Hollywood sign.
It's either that or that was edited, that was CG'd in. They blurred it so that they couldn't see the bad CG job.
That could be. Yeah, that could absolutely be. Okay, so here's the thing. Once you're doing that, here's the thing. If you
They shot it in Heyman's basement. No.
I believe that. If you were to stack the dicks that were in her end to end, which was probably in the first draft of the script, it'd be taller than the Great Khali, easily. And since the average male penis weighs about 5 ounces, basically what I did is I weighed mine and then divided by 2. If you convert that to gold, she had approximately $56,000 worth of dong inside her over the course of this thing. So there are your facts for the day. Watching this, though...
That's like 3 times the amount of money she made in the WWE.
Yeah, really.
I've never had to do math while watching porn.
Well, then what else was I going to do? I mean, once they have sex, you know what's going to happen. It's just like, all right, I'm just going to fast forward this part. Here's the thing, though. When you watch this, I can't help but think, I remember Chyna in DX days when I was younger and watched wrestling and was really into it. And she was there basically saying, fuck your childhood with her vagina, which is quite an accomplishment when you think about it.
Because it's not really a vagina?
Well, yeah. Oh, my dad should have... I should have made a tally of how many times you're going to make Chyna vagina jokes and then check them off, Joe. There are layers of meaning in the fact that she's getting fucked over and over, and there are too many layers for me to figure out. It's like that myth where you can't fold a piece of paper more than 7 times, but if you get a large enough piece, you can do it. That was this movie. But really, the porno reminded me of the show Dirty Jobs. If you've never seen it, it's this guy, Mike Rowe, goes around and does random blue-collar jobs, and basically the humor of the show is watching him do something new while everyone else around him shows him how to do the work. This was a lot like this. Chyna is not a professional porno actress, so all the men and women around the area are showing her basically how to shoot a porno during the course of shooting a porno. And it was one of these neat things that it was like, just watching it, you kind of took yourself back and went, wow, this is a really difficult job. Because when you're having sex, you've been having sex one way your entire life. Now you got to do it for camera. They got to get in these awkward-ass positions using furniture, laying around. And I imagine it's a lot of improv that goes into that. But anyway.
Sounds like you watched that movie like Assassination Buffs watches a Pruder film. Her labia went back and to the left.
I look like an Arby's sandwich.
Arby's sandwich. That's the thing. Yeah, I mean that's how it is. But if you think that's how it is, wait until this. Here's where. But watching this porno, keep in mind this thing was 4 hours. If you add in the amateur one I saw earlier, that's 5 hours of Chyna having sex. I'm going to be honest with you. The guy manning the camera for the male shot or whatever, the guy manning the camera did a better interview than any wrestling dirt rag I've ever seen, hands down. I honestly wish I could cut this down and get permission to release for the insights alone. But YouTube would lose its goddamn mind if I did that. Seriously, I hesitate to tell you to watch it because, yeah, Chyna gets naked, interstitial, and it's a porn, basically. But the insights of backstage politics, what it's like for her during the Attitude Era, I mean, how things are really like back there. I mean, it was one of the best interviews I've ever seen of what the WWE was like in the late 90s.
So you know what you do, Harrison? You take the audio out, you slap a picture of just her face, and you put it up on another YouTube channel.
That's what I was wondering, but the thing is, it's cut in with scenes of sex, so I'd have to cut those sex scenes out, or else it would be like, yeah, but the thing was, I mean, you have to remember that they're all really attractive people, and so I'd have to really edit the hell out of this thing.
And you do that really well.
Yeah, thank you.
Jesse plays the bitch in their house.
But really, leaving this porno, I got to applaud her for it. She owns what she's doing. The entire time, she wasn't ashamed of it. She wasn't trying to distract from it. She was just walking out there and doing it. Even during the course of it, she said, you know what? I want to do it. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it. And that's how it is. And so, the fact is she'd set herself out to be in a porno, regardless of what you think about it, regardless of your opinion of her before or after you heard this news, your opinion of porn in general. I have to applaud her for the courage to go out there and do it. So for me, that's why I didn't want to do this as a jokey interview with Robo Ebert and everything, because at the end of it, I had more respect for her having watched her have sex with a bunch of porno actors than I had for her previously. Because it takes a lot for her to do what she did. It took a lot for her to give that interview and give those insights of what it's like. And I got to give her the slow clap, which I did not expect was going to happen when I watched it.
Surprising because she gave Xbox the clap.
Who needs Robo Weaver when Mike can riff off this? So that's it. That was my China porn movie review. We've been talking about it for weeks. That's what happened. Do yourself a favor, and if you want, watch it. I mean, just fast forward through the sex parts. But yeah, the interviews alone, beginning every sex segment, regardless of the combination of man and woman and dong and vagina, the interviews were really, really good. Hands down. I don't know what they did to make her relax. Either roofied her or got her drunk, but she was great. All right.
Brings her own.
Yeah, probably.
That was so heartfelt.
You guys ready for quick hits?
China is.
All right, time for quick hits. For those of you guys new to the show, each one of us is going to get 30 seconds to sound off on a news topic, and if there's time afterwards, we'll scream at each other for a little bit. Item number, well, the only really item on the docket, is it possible that Big Show versus Brodus Clay was booked prior to Clay coming out after Show spent 20 minutes crying in the ring, or that Swagger versus Dolph feud was prepared for prior to them losing all those matches? Is it mere coincidence that some things are just falling into place, or can we get off the cynicism train and actually give credit to WWE for booking some storylines very intelligently? What do you think, Rob?
I think WWE is probably trying to pick up the pace with their storylines a little bit. I think anybody with half a brain has to realize that they've been kind of slouching in that department a little bit. I see this as WWE trying to pick up the pace and get back on track. Okay.
Joe, what do you think?
I think that, yeah, they probably did pre-plan a lot of this. I think Brodus Clay, Big Show is something that they've had planned since they were bringing Brodus up, and I definitely think they planned the Swagger Dolph thing. That's been coming for a while.
Okay. Joe, I'm sorry, Mike.
Jesus, H.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. I think the Big Show Clay stuff, I think that was coincidence. They looked back and said, "Oh, well, things just kind of fell into place. Let's use it." The Swagger Dolph stuff, though, it seems like they've been planning that for a while. I think I'll get off the cynicism train when they correctly book something, maybe like 5 or 6 more times of doing stuff that works so well like this, and to where you can look back and go, okay, yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah, I'm definitely. Yeah. I'm definitely with Mike on that one. It's easy. I mean, it's easy to give. It's easy to be a cynical, but it's also very easy to give WWE too much credit. I mean, lest everyone remembers the anonymous Raw GM. So let's not give WWE our whole devoted, adulation. Let's remember that happened and then stopped. So that was a thing. But yeah, I'm definitely with Mike on this one. Big Show Brodus Clay smells to me like, hey, this works out. And then, Swagger and Dolph is definitely being booked, especially when AEW started coming back. You could tell that they're starting to form cracks in the excuse me team of Jiggles, Swiggles, and Ziggles. I remember this time. All right, time for the indies. This one comes to us from Diva Jill in the chat. Earlier, she said Brooke Hogan will be okay. Here's basically what Diva Jill thinks the pros and cons of Brooke Hogan joining TNA are. Pros: 1, she's not Karen Angle. 2, she's a semi-professional singer. How do you be semi-professional? Like you do like the national anthem for hockey games?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
You only get paid for half your gigs.
Okay, there you go. Semi-professional. So at least it won't be a pain to hear her, to hear her. 3, she had done 2 reality shows, one of them focusing on her that didn't involve her being a drunken shame to humanity, so she can handle herself in a semi-scripted, full improv environment. I like that Diva Jill knows that, well, first off, it's not semi-scripted, it's totally scripted. She's been around the wrestling business her whole life, at least some of that had to have sunk in, which is what we were talking about last week. She likes Velvet Sky and ODB, so more points for her, and for me and a lot of other people, I'd imagine. They're making a big deal out of this, so likely more time given to the knockouts, which is also a good point. The fact that they're plugging up Brooke Hogan so much, it means that we're probably going to see more knockout screen time. And once again, she's not Karen Angle. The only con she can think of is that she has no actual experience, and that's the thing to be a bit wary of. And that's true. And Rob and I went into this extensively, but I want to hear what Mike and Joe have to think about this.
Okay. The only thing,
because he doesn't watch TNA, but Joe, what do you think?
I think the big problem here is number 4. She's been around the pro wrestling business her whole life. At least some of it had to sink in. I give you Exhibit A. Von Erich. What was her? Lacey Von Erich. Did you see her in TNA?
That's a really good point.
Yeah, I saw her in TNA, and I saw how quickly she improved once she realized she knew absolutely nothing about wrestling. Lacey Von Erich developed really quickly.
Okay.
We watch different shows.
All right. Let's not bog this one down. But yeah, that's a really good point, Joe. So yeah, I mean, you do have to. She was in business her whole life, but you do got to give her pause because, like Diva Jill says, which is a really good point, she has no actual wrestling experience. The lawyers of TNA have delivered a lawsuit to WWE for not only using confidential information passed on by a former employee, but for also failing to report it within a timely manner. No word if David Otunga is actually representing WWE in the case. Don West is leaving TNA, and word is that he'll be taking the general manager position of the Wenatchee Wild, a hockey team in Washington. So, step up? Or down?
Side shift, different business.
There we go. Where's make? Chris Jericho was suspended for denigrating a flag in Brazil. He kicked a flag and he got suspended. So
he kicked a what?
He kicked the Brazilian flag. It's illegal to denigrate.
Flag. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He went to Carnival and started kicking people. It was apparently illegal to desecrate.
Twitter.com/MJ Kupak.
Representative of the PW Torch, ladies and gentlemen, the venerable PW Torch. The question I have for you guys, real quick: work or no?
I think it's something that actually happened that they're blowing out of the water.
Okay.
I think the heat down there got to him, as well as the fact that he's pissed off about how his return has gone so far, and he just snapped and did something stupid.
Okay.
There's been a couple of videos that have come out, and you can see it. He didn't snap. Okay. He's like, hey, this is how. He's like, hey, I'm going to give this a go. Let's see really draw some heat, and he does it, and then the cops come out, and then he's going to issue an apology.
Yeah.
I think he might be taking lemons and making lemonade here.
Yeah, I'm with Mike on that one. I think they decided to do it like when damn it. Oh, anyway, when they did it to the Canadian flag. No, when they did it to the Canadian flag. I think that's where basically what Jericho thought. Hey, we can do this again.
Oh, yeah, with Shawn Michaels humping it and putting it up his nose.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, Chris Jericho was thinking, hey, I can do that. And oops. From the chat, Brazil don't play that shit. Thank God Jericho didn't do it in Mexico. Yeah, he would have been shot by some drug lords.
I was going to say that. Yeah, they probably would have shot him in Mexico.
Or left him on the street. Sin Cara is set to return to SmackDown this week. So, yay! This is his third time in his comeback, I guess. No. This is the first comeback of new Sin Cara. Right?
This is the first time he's come back from anything because he was back, he got an injury, they brought in Hunico, then they had when Sin Cara...
Yeah,
no, Hunico was the wellness policy.
Yeah, Hunico was the wellness policy. Sin Cara.
Right.
Then we had new Sin Cara when Hunico turned out to suck, but they didn't get rid of Hunico, they just made him Hunico. Then we got new Sin Cara. The new Sin Cara was injured. So this is the first comeback of Sin Cara 2.0.
Sin Cara 2.0. With less bugs than the software this time.
No. Dose. Sin Cara Dose.
He now comes with cup holders.
Cup holders. Okay. That's the upgrade. All right.
You can't. You also can't forget the little berries around his head and the underlighting.
But remember Sin Cara Negro, Black Sin Cara?
Pay attention for Sin Cara 3.0, which will come with free coupons to Taco Bell.
Ooh.
And that's Rob at the FTWpodcast.com.
I was going to say, and if you got a bitch with me, it's Joe at FTWpodcast.com.
Yeah, exactly. Rob will say something racist, Joe will get blamed for it, and we can call it a day. The expected card for No Way Out is the world title is going to be ADR versus Sheamus. We have Cena versus Big Show. Bryan versus Punk and Kane.
Possibly.
Possibly. Diva is going to be Beth versus Layla. From Twitter, though, WN's source on Twitter saying, giving away Punk versus Bryan, now Punk versus Kane are the title. Expected DQ and then head for a three-way. What do you guys think? Punk versus Bryan versus Kane, three-way match at No Way Out for the title.
Sounds like they got my petition.
Okay.
Hello? Is this on? Hello?
I think Joe accidentally muted himself again.
No, I was just kind of like petition.
Joe, I mean, what do you think? Would you sign that petition?
I would love to see that match.
Okay. Rob?
I think you might be... I think that match could be awesome, but I think it's reaching a little bit. I would personally not sign that match if I were in charge of booking.
If Kane won, would you riot? Because there were a lot of sides.
Yes! But then again, I'm from Chicago, so...
Yeah, that's how you roll.
I wouldn't. I think Kane would be a great pick because then Punk and Bryan can go off on their own and do a great feud without having that extra weight involved.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it gives Kane something to do for a while.
Yeah,
and then Kane wrestles Lesnar, and then Lesnar wrestles The Rock, and then...
Hey, there's our year.
There you go.
Yep. Now, a little bit older, a little bit wiser, and a little bit more in debt. Here's the question I have for you guys, and then I'm going to kick this out to this is going to be our question for the week. It's pretty obvious that Bryan, Punk, and Kane is going to be a three-way match for No Way Out, with the caveat, if it doesn't happen, I'm not Nostradamus. Anyway, if that three-way match does happen, does it need a stipulation? And if so, what? Besides being a three-way match, does it need to be a Falls Count Anywhere match, a no holds barred match, no DQ match, cage match, Hell in a Cell match? Does it need to have a stipulation in order to make it even better? Or do you like the idea of it just being three-way match, Punk, Bryan, Kane for the title? We're going to be asking that on our Facebook page. Definitely check it out on Twitter. Let us know what you think any way you can. We want to hear from you. That's your question of the week. Chat, from the chat saying chair match. That'd be interesting because of the chairs and everything. It would make sense. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think? I mean, if they went with a chair match, would you be okay with that, with a stipulation added to this?
See, I think this one needs to be clean.
God, you are such a purist.
No. You got to work your way up to that stipulation.
You got 3 weeks. 2 weeks.
Okay, fine. Make it an Inferno match.
Yeah, I like that idea because we haven't seen that in a very long time.
And it gives you the thought that Kane would win.
That's true too. From the chat, Kane gets put in a Anaconda Vice and a Yes Lock at the same time. Double tap shenanigans. That would be awesome because you could do it, right? Couldn't you?
You could, but it'd be even better if it was somebody like, I don't know.
Someone needs a leg lock.
David Otunga. Put David Otunga in the Inferno match. He'll go up like a Roman candle.
We'll have Undertaker on fire all over again. Running around his poor oiled ass, running around on fire. Oh, jeez. Karen Hughes from Twitter, when we asked any other matches for the card, said Christian versus Rose, Santino versus Ziggler and Swagger. That's not happening. R-Truth and Kofi versus some of Johnny Minions. Yeah, R-Truth and Kofi are definitely going to be on the card. I mean, these two are too exciting not to, and they'll probably open the card, to be honest. What do you guys think? Christian versus Rhodes?
That'd be solid.
I think that's a lock.
Yeah, that's a lock for the title. Yeah, for the IC belt. Do you see Rhodes winning that one, or do you think Christian will keep the belt for a while? I'm just curious. I mean,
I think Christian carries it for a while, but I think it's going to be a really good match.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Stephen A1181 on Twitter said Ziggler versus Orton. I think that this was hinted at last night when Orton hit the RKO on Miz and Ziggler was watching in the back. No, that's going to be Orton versus Miz. If that is what's going to happen. Ziggler, it wasn't like I want to be Orton. I want to beat Orton. I want to be like Orton where I'm out there and I'm, crowds cheering for me and everything. I don't think that's the way they're going with that. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think that that's the direction they're kind of building for it?
No, I think they got to they got to do something with Ziggler and Swagger before they move Ziggler on to work. They need to resolve the whatever's going on between Ziggler and Swagger first.
Okay.
The only other thing I can see is that they just split them and let them both go their own ways. I don't think they need a match. I think the Ziggler ego will move on, and then it'll be if anything, you're going to see a race between the two of them to one up each other, but on different paths. So eventually, at a future pay-per-view, they will end up going against each other. But then,
wait,
I mean,
do you see a storyline between the two of them doing that way, or do you think that naturally these two will be building that way?
I think it would be a great story if both guys went in their own directions. You got, let's say, Swagger winning the U.S. title, Ziggler goes after the IC belt again, and they both start trying to one up each other. Like it's a competition. They don't fight each other until it's absolutely necessary. So that it's like, oh yeah, well I'm going to beat this guy. Oh yeah, well I'm going to beat him, and I'm going to do it using your finisher. And
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I could see that. That'd be
Different.
fun.
All right, book it.
All right, sounds good. So the
Book it, monkeys.
I missed that so much. FTW draft. We got to bring it up because, ladies and gentlemen, we have your leaderboard leader with Mike, 74 points. You were just pulling away. Sheamus, Christian,
Thank you.
are just rocking it for you. You're gonna have to go a lot farther down to find out where Joe is. Where are you, Joe? Are you in last place?
No. RKO Voices is behind me by like 6 or 7 points, but
Considering he started late, yeah.
This sucks. I'm gonna have to. I've got one trade left, and I don't think anybody wants to pity me with a good trade. So I may take applications for anybody who wants to take somebody off my team and make a trade. I'm open to hearing things. Because if I can't win, I got to help somebody else win.
Yeah, that's fair.
Jeff Hardy's not doing much for me.
Damn, go figure that.
You think I took Matt Hardy if you how bad I'm doing?
What else we got on here? Rob is Austin Aries defeating Joe Ryan. Got you some points. No action this week from Beth Brooker Angle. Kofi was the only one that got me any points. And Winner still has yet to even show her face on TV. I'm starting to think that's a dud pick. But I'm cruising at fourth, and I'm hesitant to dump her because I know the second once I dump Winter, she's going to have a tear, and she's going to be the one that takes the title from Gail Kim. And I'm going to be, like, pissed. Rob Garvin. He dropped Jericho and Magnus and brought over Sting and Sin Cara. Basically what he did is he figured with Jericho, with the flag, and Magnus both being basically written off, he decided to do a major trade, bring on Sting and Sin Cara. I don't know if that's the best move, but hey, desperate times calls for desperate measures. He says he got desperate and drunk.
I think Sin Cara's a good pick. He'll at least win his first match.
Yeah, that's true. So that'll be interesting if it happens.
Yeah, Sin Cara's a great pick for right now.
But hey, good thinking hanging on to Karma, who has yet to even be on TV in 6 months. Good call. Good call, Garvin. Good call.
And Garvin says, fuck off, go back.
He's all riled up. Look, he's frothing mad. All right.
Hey, you know what? I'm giving free advice from first place. You better listen up, son.
Nice.
And with that, it is time for Win Fail.
Women wrestlers aren't getting paid? Why do you do a job?
Here is your win
You do any job,
and fail
is to fucking get paid!
of the week.
All right, it's time for Win Fail. For this guy's new to each well, whatever. Anyway, your wins of the week. Joe, your win of the week. Go, Joe.
My win of the week is going to be was Cody Rhodes watching Christian's match. He was so mad, but there was an amount of respect there with that look that was just awesome. It's going to fuel the feud.
Okay, cool. Rob, your win of the week. Go.
My win of the week is going to be TNA's Gut Check actually digging up a great talent. I thought Joey Ryan did a good job, and he definitely deserves to be on TNA.
Okay, cool. Mike, your win of the week.
My win of the week is going to be me picking up WrestleMania 28 on DVD. No, my win of the week is the Big Show cutting that promo on Monday is very well done. Hopefully this will not revive his character because it wasn't dead or anything, but I'm hoping that this will bring him up to back up to the main event level.
Okay, awesome. My win of the week is, it's that hit that Big Show put on Brodus Clay. I was not expecting that, and it was a spear, and it was like massive, and it was like, holy crap, that was awesome. Really got me excited because I thought we'd see an actually really pretty, I can imagine a pretty good match between these two. I mean, Brodus Clay has done some pretty good stuff. Yeah, it's all push matches, and he's won, but he's still been pretty impressive, and Big Show is Big Show, but then we didn't get to see it, but up until that point, when the realization hit that you weren't going to get to see what you wanted to see, that, like Mike said, they did the bait switch, it was looking like it was going to be we were going to see Brodus Clay get his first loss to Big Show, and it looked like it was going to be a hell of a match. From the chat, Antonio Cesaro versus Tyson Kidd on Superstars is their win. Wait, what hipster put that in there? Oh, God. Punk Bryan rematch.
That was probably Jill.
Yeah, probably. Punk Ryan rematch from the fucking main event at the $60 pay-per-view. Yeah. My win is, another one is Joey Ryan versus Austin Aries. And if Ryan doesn't get a contract out of this, TNA will be my fail for the month. Bingo. Win of the week, Joey Ryan versus Austin Aries again. Yeah, Joey Ryan's definitely, these two guys are going to be awesome to watch the next couple of years. Hopefully, if Joey Ryan gets a contract. And Brodus still being undefeated. True win of the week. Boo! You got to see, he's got to get a dent in his armor at some point. All right, fails of the week. Your fail of the week? Go, Joe.
My fail of the week is, it's got to be the Brooke Hogan announcement. I don't like it. I just don't. I don't want to see more Hogan family. Pretty soon somebody's chauffeur is going to be Nick Hogan, and that's going to suck. Because he's going to drive somebody out and crash into a tree.
I almost went the entire show without that reference.
I almost said Alberto Del Rio. He's going to drive for Alberto Del Rio, but I realized it's the wrong show.
Rob, your fail of the week.
My fail of the week is Joe for that Nick Hogan comment. That's just wow.
Love you, Rob.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, your fail of the week.
My fail of the week is TNA and their frivolous lawsuit against WWE. Come on, hey. TNA, move on.
That's a legitimate lawsuit, man.
That's going to be a lot of money for TNA.
My other fail of the week is Harrison having to watch 51 straight hours of Chyna getting it on.
Okay, to be complete, I mean, full disclosure, it probably totaled about 45 minutes, because really, once the clothes come off, and once the dick goes in, it's fast forward. There's nothing new is going to happen.
But how bad did X-Pac scream when the dick went in and he wasn't ready for it to go in?
I can't believe I got to watch 1, 2, 3 Kid have sex. I can't. That's in here now. See, what you don't understand is, look, I'm not even 30, all right? I'm not even 30. I'm going to be 90. Years from now, when I'm 90, when probably all you people that listen to this show are moving on with your lives, I would have remembered 1, 2, 3 Kid having sex. He'll probably be dead at that point, but I would have known what that looks like. So there you go.
And you can go back and you can watch your One Night in Harrison video.
Oh, Mike, you're never going to be on again.
Well.
My fail is that shit that, look, it's the announce. It's my fail is, like I said earlier, King, Taz, this announce table bullshit, treating women the way they do, and it's just set aside the booking and all that other crap that they have to go through. I mean, calling a female wrestler tiny, frail, and fragile when she wrestled in that ring not 2 weeks ago is just so goddamn stupid and offensive, and it's just the dumbest. I'm sorry. The honeymoon period for King is done. That guy needs to get off the mic. Get Matt Striker on there. I am done with King. The guy is useless. You want to see how bad King is? Watch him try and keep up on a pay-per-view. Keep up on a pay-per-view with Cole and Striker. King's got nothing. They have to throw him a bone every now and then in order to make him relevant. I mean, he just sits back and he just enjoys the show, basically.
The other stupid thing that King said recently was Johnny Ace beating John Cena is the darkest day in WWE history. Move over, Chris Benoit. There's a new King of Dark Days.
Yeah, exactly. Or when when Hart died, before a pay-per-view. Yeah, that wasn't the darkest day. It was Johnny Ace winning.
So sorry, Eddie Guerrero dying in your hotel room. Johnny Ace winning a wrestling match is worse.
Yeah. Oh no, now we got to deal with people power for a little bit longer. How terrible! What a travesty is this? Oh, anyway, yeah. All right, so fails from the chat. Damian Sandow's weird-ass pin position on Yoshitatsu and a repeat offender of pink shorts without any mixed colors. Whoa. Fail knockout on Fox News with Brooke. Yeah, that was, yeah. Harrison mentioning Lassie had 688 episodes when in fact it was 588. Yeah, it's only been 588. Still, it's a dog rescuing people, and they got 588 episodes out of it. This is how easily amused our parents and grandparents were. How irrelevant...
the same dog.
Well, how do you
15 of them.
The dogs only live for so long. You're not going to have a stellar career. You're not going to have a career like Law and Order with a dog. All right?
But by the end, Lassie was a little poodle just run into a well. They didn't even try anymore, damn it.
You think the hip dysplasia alone, man? I mean, you got 3 years you can probably get out of a dog. All right, so how irrelevant... We're going to hell. How irrelevant the US is gone now with our dog in Santino was great. Or though our dog on Santino was great. Yeah, the US title has gotten so irrelevant that I was really hoping that Santino was actually going to win and defeat
Alberto Del Rio.
Because that meant by the transitive property, Alberto Del Rio could not defeat his own ring announcer. So that just makes me laugh. And WWE's pay-per-view, damn pay-per-view matches next week on Raw. Absolutely. I mean, the fact they're giving away just giving away the booze for free a week later is ridiculous. All right, so that is it. It is now time for Joe to do a quick plug for BCWA. Take it away, Joe.
So the guys from BCWA are putting on one more show called United. It's a reunion show memorial for Ravishing Ron Swark, who passed away. It's being held at the Community Lutheran Church and Life Center at 23984 Gibraltar Road in Flat Rock, Michigan. Show starts at 5. Doors open at 4:30. Tickets are $10 for adults, $5 for children 10 younger. It's a good cause. Anybody in southern part of Michigan, northern part of Michigan, northern Ohio, around the Toledo area, even if you're coming from Cleveland, it's going to be a great show. I've seen what the card is going to be. It looks phenomenal. You'll see superstar Bill Martell. You'll see one of our Facebook fans, Judas Coltrane, Atlas Hightower, the Prodigy Darrell Jackson, Hudge, Darkstar Logan, the Parker Brothers, and many, 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 many more. They're going to load this damn thing up with people, and it'll be a good time. And 100% of the proceeds are being donated to Ravishing Ron's family to cover, I guess, funeral costs and whatnot. So, great cause. If any of the listeners want to go, check it out. I'll be there. You can ridicule me. It'd be cool. Whatever.
What date is it?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is June 3rd.
June 3rd. Okay.
June 3rd. Sunday, June 3rd.
Okay, so you can show up and ravish Joe for not knowing, not plugging what date it's actually on. But yeah, if you guys could go, that'd be awesome. I mean, BCWA has been probably, they've just been great to us. So, I mean, if you guys could go and support them, I know we'd love you forever for it. And that's it. I'm sorry. Mike, sorry, buddy, I completely forgot about your plug. Mike from PW Torch, if people want to get a hold of you, how do they do it and where do they do it?
You can follow me on Twitter at MJQPack. You can check out my SmackDown reviews every weekend at pwtorch.com. Usually posted, Saturday afternoon or so. The best way to get a hold of me is follow me on Twitter. I tweet live during Raw and during WWE pay-per-views.
And that's it. That is the show. As you can tell, we're just a group of friends that do this in our spare time. We don't charge for this like some do, but we do work really hard at making sure we put out some quality entertainment for you. We're not asking you to send us our money, but if you want to support us, you can consider buying a t-shirt. You can visit our site, ftwpodcast.com, and click the merch tab at the top. Take a look at the shirts available, and if you like basically, if you have an idea for a shirt, let us know. We might be able to make it happen. Otherwise, if you don't have the cash, but you really like to show the show some support, I'm sorry. You can rate us on iTunes and help us improve our rank in their system. Like us on Facebook and YouTube and all that stuff. The higher up we get, the better chance we get for more listeners. You can also tell your friends and spread the word about us. We're incredibly easy to find. If you need to find more information about us, you can hit up ftwpodcast.com. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ftwpodcast, twitter.com/ftwpodcast, youtube.com/the ftwpodcast. Let your voices be heard by leaving us a voicemail at 313-444-FTW-FO. That's 313-444-3894, and we'll play those on the air. It's a lot of fun. If you and you can email our questions to questions@ftwpodcast.com. Thank you everyone in the live chat. You guys are the hive mind, and you're awesome, consistently awesome. We record every FTW podcast episode on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. at ftwpodcast.com/live, and we will see you next Tuesday. Later.